All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Oh, can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Lucy.
Okay. All right. Okay. I want to confirm whether you can hear me. So, will you go first, or I should speak? Or maybe we
Yes,
should
please.
just go first. Look, can go
Whatever.
first. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, sure. I can go first.
All right.
Are we live already? I want to be sure.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. Mm, Sorry. All right. Let me see our comment section. Let me see how we're doing. Uh, Good evening and good to have everyone again. My name is Adeleke Pashakin, product manager with Value Driver Technology Solutions, and it's a privilege to be one of the facilitators on the product manager class with Lita and Incubator Nigeria. With me here, we have Olabisi. Olabisi is also a product manager, and we also have our colleague Damila. Damila will join us shortly. So, of course, we have a long ride together. We have 14 weeks of active training. You get to know what product management is. You get to work on a real life product yourself that you will, through each of our classes, yeah, we build over time. The way we have worked on the training for you is in a way such that you have a product from the beginning of the class. You have a product from the first class, and as each class starts for each of our sessions, you take the lessons from each class to optimize the products you're building. So, for instance, let's say I'm a student with Ladies Tech Africa. The first thing you're doing in the product management class is to have a product in mind. And then we walk you through the process to building it. So each of our classes will be more like a hands-on training on how to bring your product to life. So I'm personally excited about this process it's going to be mind blowing. And I'm saying that not because I'm using the word, but your mind is going to shift. You're going to have a mind shift. My facilitators here and myself, we all believe that product management is the entrepreneurial arm of tech. Where you can think of an idea and then you can work with a team that bring it to life. And that's the approach to which we want to take this class. So again, I say welcome. It's going to be a long 14 weeks, trust me, because it's going to be stretchy for some of us. It's not something we're used to. For some of us that we're used to it, maybe we've done trainings. I believe me, we may have done trainings. Some of us have had trainings before and want to have it again. However, this is not just a training. You're going to be working on a real life product. So you may really find yourself having to do more than you're used to doing. But then you have us here. I will allow my colleagues here to just introduce themselves shortly. You have us here to walk you through the entire 14 weeks. So you're not alone. And we promise you it's going to be a transformative moment for you. And before I allow them to speak, I will just in a nutshell, tech has come to stay, whether we like it or not. Tech has come to stay, and it's that thing that has helped many young people to upscale, to move beyond the regular trajectory of career growth. For most people, you have to work in the company, wait for the 3 years promotion before you get your next promotion or get an increase in pay. But with tech and largely media, realize that people can take their skills into their hands. Tech has also made it so that for normal roles, you have to finish university, you have to do NYSC before you get a job. But with tech, you see people even try to not serve because you cannot afford to not have a laptop with you for 3 weeks. So it's a game changer, and I want us to see it that way. So don't just see it as another training, our certification. See it as a time to transform yourself. There's something we always say: you approach a training not for the sake of certification, okay, but for the sake of being able to create more value. Of course, they can certify you for being able to create that value, but much more than certification, always pay attention to learning a skill. It's skill that sets you apart in the market. And I believe that what I've said is even nothing compared to what my colleagues will say when they come in to also let you know. This is an introductory class. We just want you to meet us and know what we're all doing here together. So thank you again. My name is Adeleke Fashakin, and I will just allow my colleague, BC, to introduce herself in a bit. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Adeleke. That was a wonderful section. Thank you so much. And good evening to everyone. My name is BC Babaemi, and I'm a product manager. So a little intro of me is uh I have like 4 years experience working in a bank, right? I'd always had passion to be a banker. Yeah. I read banking in school, and I worked in a bank for like 4 years. So at some point I feel like can everyone hear me? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm sure that at some point in our lives we want to be an engineer, want to be in so many things that you like to become, right? I mean, I've always wanted to be a banker because I love the fact that they're always putting on shoes inside, they're always in the AC, yeah, they're always living this kind of chill lifestyle and the like. So I actually studied banking and successfully working in a bank. But after 4 years, my prayer point changed. At every phase of your life, your prayer point will change. So then I transitioned into tech and I started working as a product manager. So I can say this to you guys that you're not in the wrong place, right? So transitioning into tech is one of the best decisions that anyone could make. And for the fact that you're going to work, you can, there's flexibility in terms of working. There's no stress. There is stress basically, but I mean, it's still a chill work in the sense that compared to your normal staying in a particular place from morning till night and all, there are lots of opportunities in tech space. So now I'm going to like take us through the curriculum for the remaining months that we're going to be, taking you through the whole course, right? So I'm going to share my screen so I can see what we have. So I'll just employ everybody to just put in their 100%, right? I also started my career just like what you guys are doing right now. I had boot camp from there. I attended so many boot camps like that online, and lucky enough for me, as soon as I was done with my training, I got my first gig, and I'm still working, right, as a PM. So currently, I work as a PM and a project manager. So if you are really, really serious about this program, I can tell you, you don't even need to take thousands of boot camp. If you know what you're doing, and from day one, you are determined that, okay, after this is what I'm going to achieve. I can assure you that it's not a waste. All right. So let me just share my experience so that you can just see the couples of topics that we're going to take you through for this few months that will be facilitating. All right, so you can just confirm if you can see my screen. Can anyone see my screen? Can anyone see my screen?
Not yet, please.
Can anyone see my screen?
Not yet, please.
Can you see? Can anyone see my screen? Hello, can anyone see my screen?
You can see the screen now. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So these are the training curriculum that will be taking us through. So for the first week, so we'll be taking introduction to product management, right? And under introduction to product management, we'll be having the definition, the role of a product manager, the product life cycle, the product strategy versus product roadmap. Then the second week, we'll also be taking market analysis and customer understanding. So under this, we'll be having market research and analysis. Also, we have competitive analysis, we have customer segmentation and persona, we have value proposition development, and week three, we also have product requirements and road mapping. So we have the PRD under this. We also have product roadmap creation. We have the prioritization framework. So we are not limited to these two, right? But just for you to have like an idea of what prioritization framework is all about, we have couples of frameworks, but we are not limited to these two. So we also have agile and waterfall methodologies. And for week four, we have product launch and go to market strategy. Under this, we have the launch planning and execution, sales and marketing collaboration, post launch evaluation as well. So on two, we have the product development and management, and we have product development process, product development life cycle, agile development methodology, Scrum and Kanban, project management fundamentals. We have for week six also we have product design and user experience. We have design thinking process. We have UX principles. We have UI design basics, collaboration with design teams, product analytics and metrics, key performance indicators, data driven decision making, A/B testing, experimentation. We also have product analytic tools. For week eight, we have products pricing and monetizations. So under which we have the pricing strategies, the revenue models, the CLTV, that's the customer lifetime value. And for month three, we have product growth and scaling. So and That will be week 9. So we have products, growth, and strategy. We have customer acquisition and retention. We have the growth hacking
Sorry,
techniques.
sorry, DC. I think there's a comment on YouTube. It's quite zoomed out. If you can zoom it out for them, it's better.
Okay, I
Thank
cannot
you.
read comment because I'm sharing my screen, but I'm sure they will still get this. They will get this eventually, but I cannot really zoom my screen because
And
I'm
from
sharing my.
100, you can move to
Okay,
150.
let me see if that works. Are we good? I think it's better.
We can go higher. We can go higher. Okay, that is this.
Okay. So for week month 3, so be having product growth and scaling. So for week 9, that'll be the ninth week. So that'll be products growth and strategies. We have customer acquisition and retention. We have growth hacking techniques, viral marketing, products market fits. So for week 10, we have product scaling challenges and opportunities, product architecture and scalability, internationalization and localizations. So for week 11, we have product leadership, building and leading product teams, product vision and communication, stakeholders management, and product strategy and roadmap refinements. We have the long-term product vision, product roadmap, strategic partnership. So, and for month 4, which is the advanced product management topics. So, be having our capstone, for every project, for every how do I say it? It is expected for us that we have a project at the end of our teaching. And this is going to be like an evidence for us that, okay, we were able to at least to impart knowledge, to give out value. So you should expect that there will be a capstone project at the end of it. So like I said earlier on, that just have the mindset that you are here to like get value. You are not just going to live the same way you came. So for every class you take, though Leke is still gonna share more light on how that's gonna work, right? But have it at the back of your mind that there will be a capstone project and it's going to be like there will be marks to be awarded in the sense that we're going to grade you, right? So I'm sure Leke is going to share more light on that. So that will be for week 13. So we also have emerging trend in product management, AI, and machine learning in product development, product-led growth, subscription-based business model, ethical product management, and for the capstone project, you are going to develop a product strategy for hypothetical products, conducting market research, competitive analysis, creating product roadmap, and also presenting the final product strategy. So you can see that it is loaded, right? So it's no joke at all. So don't think that in 3 months you can even get your first gig. Do you get that can only happen if you know what you're doing. Do you understand? That can only happen if you know what you're doing. So let me just give you a brief definition on what PM is all about, right? Like product management, like I call myself a mini CEO, right? And one thing you just have to have at the back of your mind is that you're a mini CEO of any product. Do you understand? And you have to like own your product. Do you get? You have to have that mindset that you own the product. So a product manager represents the customer. So you be the one to like fill in that gap, right? For the users, for your customers, right? So a product manager is responsible for a product right from ideation to the launching phase, right? So as a product manager, it's a whole lot of work because we wear so many caps. So people think that I remember when I wanted to become a product manager, I have this mindset that I learned how to code to some extent because being a product manager, it is expected that you have some basics. You have to have a little bit understanding of what a designer does, a dev, what they do. No, I'm not saying that you should be 100% right, but at least you have like a basic of what they do. So I think I learned some basics while I was learning, right? So you should know that a product manager is not just jokes. So don't have the mindset that products managing. Do you get? So a product manager is responsible for whatever happens to a product. If anything happens to a product, they will not hold the designer responsible. They'll just go and meet the product manager. right? So from ideation to launch, it is your responsibility as the product manager. So today is just a mere introduction. It's not like an in-depth knowledge of product manager, right? But in our next class, right, so we're going to like dive into what is a product manager and what is the role of a product manager, what is expected of you as a product manager, right? I think of, and if you have any question you can ask. Why I hand over the mic to Leke to continue.
Um, okay, thank you very much, Lucy. Thank you very much. And quickly, we're three to take you through this course. Um, I don't know, Bamila, please, could you just come in and do your thing? Okay, so while we wait for Damila, I have checked YouTube and I can see all of the comments. Many of us were asking for the, um, of course, we have seen the comments on YouTube. Many of us were asking for the document, we're asking for the product outline, you're asking for the course outline. Again, I want to reiterate this is the product management class. This is the product management class. If you check the YouTube for incubator, you would see other live classes at the moment. But currently, this is the product management class. So, of course, we have seen the questions that are being asked, and the curriculum. You are going to get all of that. This is a basic introduction class. So I would allow Damina to take it from here. Thank you.
All right. I'm a product manager with about 5 years of experience. I work with clients in a US based. All right, can you hear me,
We
please?
cannot hear you. Your voice is lagging.
All right, how about now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right,
Yes,
thank you. Thank you.
it's better now.
All right, thank you. All right, my name is Amy Tonjesu Damila. I'm a product manager with 5 years of experience. I work with Polaris Bank as a senior manager. I also couple as a product manager with GM Financial, a US-based organization that um, provide solutions for web managers who wants to trade US securities. And like my colleagues have said, it's going to be an exciting journey for everybody because we want to give you a hands-on experience, right? You need to be ready. Now, don't get scared. I know the list of things you're seeing can be scary, but then it gets interesting when we get into it one after the other, right? You can be sure that after this training, you can as well get yourself a gig job to work on. I started, interestingly, my career started so fast. It took me just 6 months to be able to start working on real life projects, and it's been really interesting from there. So, um, I don't have anything else to say aside what my colleagues have said. All I would just say is that you should prepare your mind. We'll be grouped, right? Uh, right now, you start thinking of products, right? Start thinking of products that you want to build. Start thinking of now, how do you think about this product? You think of a problem you really want to solve. You don't want to build a product that would not solve problems. So start to think of a problem around you that you want to solve, right? Think of it. Just explore your mind. You could do your research to find out what is the problem that we have in Nigeria. What is the problem in the economy? What's the problem in agri that you want to solve? Probably you want to build an agri tech solution. Probably you want to build maybe a more a better platform to what we are using right now. Maybe you want to just solve a problem. Start to think about it because this class, you're not just coming to learn what is this, what is that. You're coming to actually build a product. So start to think of those products you want to build and be ready. Be ready. Be ready. It's going to be exciting, yet it's going to be special. right? So prepare your mind, prepare your mind. It's going to be a very exciting ride. All right. Um, I think I will have to hand over to my colleague now. And I think after now we can pick one or two questions from everybody and try to provide answers to that. Over to you later.
Okay, so like we said, this is a clearly introductory class. So we want to ensure that we have your questions, have your feedbacks, basically your expectations. So we will be checking YouTube comments now to see all of this. So wherever you are, okay. And the first questions, will the materials for each topic be available? How can we get it? Thank you. Of course, the materials will be available for each of the course you're taking. We'll have the materials for each course available to you. Um, okay. Again, can the course outline be sent to us in the mail? Okay. We'll discuss that later on. However, be well aware that so long as you are in the program, you are going to move through all of the course outline. So long as you're in the program, and if the course outline is not the course, you are going to move through all of the course outline. So the class holds 3 times of the week: Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, 7 to 9 p.m. Today's class may not get to 9 p.m., of course, because it's highly introductory. And but we'll have an assignment to you from today's class, and so please pay attention. We'll talk you through. I will take you a session now on how to identify problems in the market, and also Damila will also come in again to talk to you on how to build your problem into a tech product, and then you'll be able to get it. Again, I repeat, this is a product management class, not a product design. Product design is you are more of UI UX using Figma and all of that, Figma, Adobe XD, and all of the solutions we have out there. A product manager may be a product designer, but your job is not to design products. Your job is to manage the entire product environment. So it's different. If you want to join the product design class, please reach out to your customer line in incubator and they will direct you to the right class to join. That is because aside this YouTube class, the class will soon move out of YouTube to the learning management system, which is not YouTube. So if you are not in the right class, you may be missing out on classes when that time comes. Okay? Okay. I believe that clarifies all questions on product and product management. Your classes are not here on YouTube. You only have the introductory classes of YouTube. Yes, you will be certified. You'll be certified after the class. You'll be certified after the class. But we said it earlier on. Please do not take pride in certifications. I have a lot of them. But when it comes to tech, like I told you, nobody has you in tech to come and show them certificates. They will ask you for your portfolios. What have you done? So learn to build the skill. Moving on, product management, product design are similar. Okay, thank you. That person is answering. Okoli Chidera Antonia. Thanks for that. The class for product design, we are facilitators. Kindly reach out to your customer care or the lines or the mails that you're reaching out to for incubator. They will direct you to the product design class. Product mobile apps. Well, I understand what you're trying to say, but product managers manage the process of building apps, not just apps. You are going to build websites, you're going to build apps. And we help all of you to get a difference. The difference between product management and project management is simple. A project manager takes over the project from when it has started. For instance, let's say I want to build an app. I have my features. I give it to you. The project manager will now move from those features and work with the technical team to deliver on it. But the product manager may not be given. If I For a product manager, you have to think the features. So for a product manager, what you are told is a problem. Your job is now to think of the features of that product and think of how it will work in the market. A project manager stops when the project is done. Maybe, okay, oh, Ogajumia, your app is now working. You can go. A product manager's work has just started when the app is launched because your job is now to look at how people will use the app in the market. And as people are using the app in the market, you are still making findings to know how are they using it, what are they enjoying on the app, is the app good enough, is it bad, what do you need to adjust. So your job, There is no product life cycle for a product manager. Your product life cycle is almost as good as your, if your product if your product ends, it's almost like you are failed. That's what it is. There's no life cycle for a product manager. Your journey starts from the beginning. It's like Jumia to the end of time. Let me just put it that way. Except you don't want to succeed, and everybody wants to succeed. So it doesn't end when you deliver the project. It starts. It's like Facebook. You are going to look at how it gets better. Can you, all of us, use Facebook? We see the way the app is getting better over time, the way they are attaching different features. That's your work. Do you understand? You are not just rating the app. You are on the entire app from the beginning to the end. You will create the ratings. You'll be the one to create those ratings. When we get to the class, you get it better. Let's not go too deep for now. But if you know you applied for the UI/UX class, please, I do not know the direction to that. You have to speak to those you have been applying to so that they can understand. Product marketing and people management, these are subsets of product management. But let's not go into all of that now. You will learn them. Product management and product marketing are subsets of product management. You will see people management mainly is stakeholder management. That's an entire class, and you will learn it. Okay, I know I've skipped some questions. Um, Somebody asked, you register for web development. This is not the class. You can kindly reach out to Incubator for that, or Lita, sorry, Lita Africa. Again, someone said, okay, how will three facilitators take the class? Will the teaching experience be the same as the session today? Or each facilitator will take different topics or classes on the course outline? Thank you. So, product management is not coding, it's not UI UX, it's not web development. It's wide, entirely wide. Do you understand? In product management, there are some sections in product management that the person has to have project management experience strongly. There are some sessions that the person has to have product design experience. I'm still going to take you through Figma and all of that, just a little of it. There are some sessions where the person has to be very strong in marketing. Do you understand? Technical marketing, consumer experience. There are some sessions where the person has to be very strong in research. So you will not see, I've done a few product schools, you will not see any product school with one facilitator. If you have a facilitator, just know it's going to be weak. Most times you will see a lot of facilitators. Sometimes some people even have one facilitator per each session of the course because it's very, very wide. It's very, very wide. So that's why you have three. We're going to be taking different classes, and the classes are not going to hold here. So you will have better audio and video experience. Don't worry. But the classes are not going to hold here. So if you are going to be in the class, please ensure you reach out clearly. No, it's not limited. So when you hear that this person can work anywhere, you are in trouble. Really, it's almost as though you cannot work anywhere. A product manager can work in an organization where there is tech. Basically, you can only work in a tech organization. If you are going to work in an hospital, it may be that the hospital has it. Maybe they are building an app, or they have an app that the hospital runs on, and you are the one managing it. That's all. You are not going to. You can't work anywhere. You have to work in a tech organization. Please note that. If you are working in a bank, most of these banks, they have the tech arm where you are now working. Damila mentioned that he works with Polaris Bank. It's because they are building a product. We all know Vault, all of that. Do you understand? So they always have a tech product, or maybe you're the one, for instance, where I work now, we build the banking apps, all these mobile apps, all of us use. Do you understand? So that, and you have to. So somebody asked, how do we niche down since it's large? That's why you are in the training. You are not, so you cannot train anyone to do it at once. You cannot, you as a person cannot train anyone, but you have to be trained by everybody to do the same job. So don't think, because I'm saying many of us may get jobs in Nigerian companies. For Nigerian companies, they will not hire plenty people. You will be the only one who will be the product manager, the product marketing manager, and all of that. Do you understand? So you may not, you have to learn everything. So there's no niching down. Product manager is product manager. Just that I can bet you a lot is expected of you. Most times when they hire you, the CEO goes to rest. The CEO goes to rest. So, like I said, so when you talk, let me answer this question. You said, is the certification recognized universally? Yes, Incubator Nigeria is a global organization. We have been training people in tech for a while now, and we've had people get jobs. We have people deliver excellently at their jobs at that. We also have partnerships with established organizations that you can check out there, but I will leave that to you to reach out to your facilitator, to your incubator to find out. So, um, exactly. So somebody asked a question. I think I will hold on there. It says, Joy Bello says, I have a food brand business. Can this be made a product into product management? I would love to learn more about this. So it's simple. We mentioned earlier that product management is more like the entrepreneurship of tech. So if you have a food business, your job now is to look for how can you bring tech into food business. It's that process that product management now comes in, and we will take you through all of that. Do you understand? So when you're looking at this, all these Jumia, Abeg, build something and raise funds, is because there's a product manager at work. Do you understand? As a product manager, you must know how to. You will learn in all these how to raise funds, how to do so many of these things. So we really don't have all of the time now. Are we going to be using laptop during the course? Yes, we need to use a laptop for real, because a lot of the tools you're going to be learning to work with are going to be on the system. Okay. I think we have a lot of questions to go on for the next 4 years of this administration. However, we would like to streamline to just a few. I would I will start skipping questions that have to deal with the training itself. You have the next 14 weeks to learn. So let's just go gradually. If you do not have a laptop, you can still join the class, but you have to take a lot of notes. Of course, you can do a lot with your phone, but I can tell you there is no tech without laptop. There is no tech without laptop. So I can help you. If you have registered for product design class, just click on the incubator page themselves, the YouTube page you join this thing. Go into the page itself, then click on live. You will see many classes live at the moment. You can look for the ones that you wanted to join and then join. Just click on the incubator page, click on live. You will see many classes live, and you can join the one you want to join. Chromebook, as long as you just need a screen to work with. That's all it is. If it's a Chromebook, it's a pad, you're good to go. If you want to change your course, please kindly reach out to Incubator to do that. We are facilitators, we are not the organizers. Thank you. Somebody is asking for the tools we need. I think we can do that when you get into each of the course. But most of the times you will be using more of the project management tools, really, and then of course your slides. So that's basically. You have joined the product design class you applied for. All right. I still don't know why I can see your comment here. Then that's okay. That's okay, anyways. Um, Yes, you will build products, but not physical products. Of course, some products are physical, and I will explain. So, I'm Dr. Ronke Ajaf. He sound like an Indian. And I will answer this way. I work with Value Driver and Value Driver Technology Solutions, and some of our products are both offline and online. Miss K, please, could you ask the question again? We apologize for not saying it. So, some of our products are both offline and online. Just a minute, please. So I will allow Bamila to take this question. The person says, so it can't be a physical product. So let's just answer why the product can both be physical and non-physical. I think I've taken enough questions to win a presidential debate already. I should be dragging up right now. Uh, so Okay. So let me just I will start reading the questions now and start throwing it to three of us. So y'all just get ready. But let me answer this one. It says, is it a physical product? Yes, they are physical products, and I will explain. For instance, one of the products we do in my company, the place I work, ATMs and banking kiosks. So of course, if you have seen the ATM machine, they are physical products, and for some of them we have to manage, we have to you have to well, maybe we can touch it in the advanced class. You have to deal with companies. For instance, I will take you through shortly how we get to do those products. So the bank, if you go to Access Bank, if you go to First Bank, if you go to Lotus Bank, you will see they use. Yes, some of them will supply them, and they have physical apps you have to build. They have physical app, you have product manager. Then the device itself, most times you have to work with somebody who is an engineer now, not just a software engineer, but maybe a device engineer. And most times we work with Indians. We reach out to them they build. Sometimes you have to go, sometimes you don't go. But you manage the entire process. Okay, that's your job. So as the hardware is being delivered, they're also doing the software. Some people like Money Point and Co. They have POS systems. Many of these things you're looking at have the software to it. So there's always someone managing both the hardware and the software. So it's a lot to deal with, really. But of course, Rome will not be built in a day. So let me ask you this question, Mr. Gbamila. Thank you. Saka Asumiabosede says, is product management good for a photography work? Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you, thank you, Felipe. All right, so let me approach your question this way. Just know that product manager can work across different sectors, right? Me for one, I've worked in different sectors, right? And this is it. In as much as there is a tech solution in photography, right? You can apply that your skill to that sector, right? What do I mean? Now, as a
Sorry, Gbamila, you're not
photographer,
so clear.
right? What is it?
You're not so clear. Sorry.
How about now?
Okay, it's better now, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So let me approach this question, right? Don't get it wrong. So a product manager, you can work in different sectors, right? You can work in the fashion sector. Me for one, I've worked across different sectors, right? Um, this is it. If you're a photographer, hmm, in as much as you can bring a tech solution to your photography, then you can work in that sector, right? Example for one, maybe you're a photographer that needs, maybe you want to go out for your capturing and you need other vendors that can help you out. You can build an app to link you up with other vendors, right? Another way to think of it is if you're a photographer, what other thing do you usually do? Maybe you want to have a platform where people who can hire you can access you on, right? They can make payments, they can book sections, but then they don't necessarily have to interact with you. There is a app, right, that does that. Maybe as a photographer, the idea is I want to build an app that would allow people, right, people to be able to book a session with me, make payments, right, without having to get across to me. So a product manager can come into that space to build that solution. So when you think of product management, right, just think of building a technological related solutions, right? Think of building a tech related solution. It doesn't matter the sector, right? There are a lot of examples, right? There are a lot of in fashion now. I think I was working on one platform that just wants to link up vendors who sell fabrics and people who are actually tailors, right? A platform like that, people come, they log in, they can select their fabrics, input their measurements, and then the tailor gets that on his own end. So just think about that. Whatever sector you are in as much as you can bring a tech solution to that sector, the product manager can actually work there, right? So I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes. I think that's very solid, sir. I think that's very solid. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, sure, I can.
Yes, I think that's very solid. That person answered that question, that asked that question. I would also just add a few things to you. For photography, I will answer the same person that asked question on real estate. So let me put it this way. Photography, you have Adobe Lightroom, you have the Adobe Photoshop, you have, the entire Adobe suite now. You have Capture One and all of that. These are apps you use in your laptop. They are releasing versions every year. So whether you like it or not, somebody is a product manager with Adobe who is working. So as a photographer, what now stands you out as a product manager now is that you have transited into tech, and now you can now think of how to build solutions that can work in tech environments for photographers. And this could be your own selling point to a large extent. It could be your selling point. You can look for a solution together that you can, and that's why I said it's the entrepreneurial part of tech. So it's not just that you went to learn coding, you're looking for work. Is that now that you have learned product management, you can now think of, okay, what solution can tech bring to photography beyond just booking and all of that? Okay, is there any editing app or what's there in Adobe that you can do better, and all of that. Before you know it, you're there. But I just don't want to have that mind of we can work anywhere. No, you can't work anywhere. You can only bring tech solution to any field. It's better put that way. That you can deliver value. You know, technology is a catalyst, right? So that's what you're saying. The same person mentioned real estate. It's the same. All of this, I've worked in a place that I've seen boys worked on virtual augmented realities for real estate, where they build systems where people can simulate the house, so you don't need to go to the house to check. From your system you can just see how the house works. You can move through the house, more like a virtual tour or an augmented reality of the house. And that's how most people sell, although it's not trending yet in Nigeria. I think it's more of a Dubai thing. So of course, tech is innovation, tech is growth. You understand? You can bring it into anything. And that's the way you see it. Don't see it from that university, I can work anywhere. No, it's just that you can bring it into anything. For instance, banking some 20, 30 years ago does not really have much of this kind of tech in it. All they had was just the core banking. But now, with the advent of tech, we can now see all of us doing internet banking, banking apps, USSD. Do you understand? So it's not as if we are saying the PM can work in a bank, but the PM can bring technology to the bank. So as much as possible, you can bring the PM can decide to work in school. For instance, we just finished building an edtech app in my kind of place. So the learning management system, Coursera was built. You understand? We have things like Coursera, we have things like Udemy, we have things like LinkedIn Learning. Those are PMs. Do you understand? Exactly. And Jalulu Tejuma, you're doing a lot here. He says, so does this mean that a product manager works in now with programmers, with developers, and the likes? That's the word manager, the management itself. But your job, in fact, sometimes you have to work with a project manager. The reason is because the class is live, please, so you can always access the recordings. It's on YouTube. The reason is because the project manager may manage those people, but he doesn't even know what to build. You are the one to know what to build. You are the one to know the problem you are solving. But okay, this is the issue with Nigerian education system, and this is what I'm bringing tech to do. Do you understand? And then you think through that problem. That's why you have to do market research. You go to the market, you hear people's pain points. You now learn how to build that pain points into features. Into features. Somebody is asking for attendance. We're still thinking secondary school concept towards this. I think we should move beyond this attendance. I don't know if there's attendance. I'm just a facilitator. But as much as possible, apologies for my comments. However, we may not deal with attendance as that. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Joanna Idowu. Now that you have talked about what the cost, but you see, a project manager is not concerned with what the customer wants. A project manager will just ask you, where is the feature? You give him the feature, he start building. That's all. It is you who will now say, sorry, project manager, let me stop that feature. From my research, it's not an issue anymore. Let's change to this feature. That's your job. And most times, Nigerian companies, if they hire you, they will now hire another project manager to work with you. That's why you have to learn project management to product management. But project management itself, in its entirety, is just a subset of product management. Okay, good. You want me to answer all the questions? I think I should debate Trump already. Mr. Let me pose this question to my colleague, BC. So Chuku Favor is asking, how can a product manager be relevant in the fashion industry? I know Gwamila has mentioned something like that earlier on, but for the sake of time, um, and BC, please help us answer this part. And I'll also pack some other questions together. He says, um, okay, how does product manager help you as a classroom teacher? Somebody says, exactly, I'm liking these questions. And I will say why I'm liking it. I'm not a fan for the breaking into tech kind of mantra. I believe you don't break into tech. I believe we can use tech to optimize our processes. So we want to see technology in farming, we want to see technology in teaching, we want to see technology in education, not that we are telling everybody to go and learn tech. And I'm saying it for a reason. If all of us leave our profession to go and become tech professionals, sooner or later, all of us will be out there building apps and there's nobody to pay for them. So we need to have people who are in their industry, who are building personal things, and then who are now using tech to optimize what they are building. And then that's where all of us can now make money together. So, BC, you can take it away. You have questions. People are asking how tech can work in their
All
separate in
right.
their fields. Somebody also mentioned music. So Please, you can go left and right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Adeleke. I think the question is even almost the same thing because it's still relevant to a particular field from one field to another. So the first question is, how can a PM be relevant in computer science, fashion industry, music industry? It's still the same approach. And I think we've actually explained this. So I think I want you to understand something about product management, that the responsibility of a product manager is for you to, to make sure that a product is successful right from the ideation to launching of a product, right? It is your responsibility to manage your team, right, on how those the features that have been written down will become live. So for fashion industry, for instance, you're a tailor, you're a fashion designer, right? And you want to like digitalize your procedure on how you can get your users, right, your customers. So how can a product manager be relevant in this field is that for you to like sit down, figure out the problem you are trying to solve, build a solution that will make fashion very, very easy for your users, in the sense that you build an app, for example, and it will be strictly for your target audience, which are the people that will be patronizing you. In that kind of situation, you try to like digitalize your ways of relating to your users. You can easily come online, book for your service, do all of those things. But as a product manager, you'll be the one to like manage that idea of building that product, that application, that website, on how your users will be able to relate with you. So product does not necessarily need to be something you can hold. It's a service, right? So in the fashion, if you look at all this fashion industry, we have so many people that they are. We have Vicky James and the likes of them. There is a product manager that manage that product for them, for you to reach out to their final user. That's the work of a product manager. For every product that you are seeing out there, there is a back end. There's someone that is, that is in charge of how the whole thing, comes to life. So it is your responsibility as a product manager to make sure that all of those things are in place. So for the music industry as well, if you look at it also, there's a back end. There is someone at the background that is managing everything, right from the ideation, right from, okay, I want to build this app, right? You know, you want to build an app, you cannot build it yourself, right? You need somebody that will be able to manage that idea. So it is the responsibility of you as a product manager to make sure that that idea comes to life. Do you understand? So it is you will sit down. First of all, you need to know the problem you are trying to solve. What problem okay, like the fashion industry that you just mentioned, I'm sure that the problem you are trying to solve is that you are trying to, to get awareness, to make sure that your users are able to like have an encounter with your product, right? That's the problem you are trying to solve, to make sewing business very easy for your users. So that's the first thing you have to do. You need to identify the problem that you are trying to solve. And
Yeah.
once you're able to
Now
identify
for
the
that,
problem,
yeah.
what are the
I
solutions?
don't be you, Jesus. No, 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 no,
What are
no.
the solutions that you
Yeah,
are trying to, your mic is, you need to mute yourself, Adeleke. Yeah. So what problem are you trying to solve? Do you understand? So once you're able to identify the problem you are trying to solve, then the next thing is that what are the features that you need for that product? Do you understand? What are the features that will be needed? Then from there, you prioritize your features. From there, the design teams they will start their work, building and it's a whole lot of which you're going to understand when we start proper class. So just have the mindset that products manager is relevant in fashion designer, now in fashion industry, computer science, in whatever industry that you find yourself. We have fintech, we have edutech, we have agri-tech, we have lots of tech. We have fintech. Do you understand? So product manager, they are relevant to every industry. Just that your just have it at the back of your mind that being a product manager, it is your responsibility to be at the forefront, to manage your team. This is what we want to do. How is this thing going to, like, what is the approach, what is the strategy for us to make sure that this idea comes to life? So it's like we digitalizing our traditional ways of doing that thing, that particular product. Do you understand? So we are going to digitalize, and we need the product manager to be the one to like bring that idea into life. I don't know if that answered your question. Favor, Adeyinka, and Hope. I can't Let me know if that answered your question so I can. Okay, all right. So I think the next question here is, I sell fabrics. How can tech help me my business? Because presently I'm facing the problem of debt management in my business. I think I've explained this one, that regardless of whatever that you are doing, the most important thing is, as a product manager, you need to know the problem you are trying to solve. But you might not have all the full details on this call, right? But when we start proper class, you understand. Whatever business that you are doing, you can digitalize it. You can digitalize it. And you all know that even with teaching here, facilitating, normally you're supposed to, like, you should be probably in a classroom, like, let everybody meet in so place. But now we decided to digitalize it. This is still another way of digitalizing it, right? So the whole process is managed by someone. There's a back end. Do you understand? So even if you are selling fabric, don't you buy, maybe you buy fabrics online. There are products that you download them and you order for some goods online. There's a product manager behind the scene. There's a product manager that is managing the designer, the developers, the backend, everybody. There's someone behind the scene. But you get to understand this when we get into our proper classroom. Do you understand? So that's it about the question you asked. And how can someone that does not have laptop participate in the classroom? Of course, you can participate, but I would just advise you to have a seamless understanding, right? It's better for you to get a laptop, because by the time you get to the practical aspects of it, like my colleague mentioned, by the time we start making use of Figma and product management tools, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not sure phone will be something that's to make it so easy for you to understand. But you can, but it will be advisable for you to get a laptop, but you can still use your phone. And another one say, can a PM work with a service and import export logistic industry? Of course, you can. Like I said, product management is a very broad. Though we have different types of product management, we have technical, we have strategic PM, we have growth manage product manager. There are lots of roles. Do you get? So you can work in a logistic industry. It depends on what they need at that particular moment. And also, product manager can work in any organization. We all, like I mentioned, we have fintech, we have agri-tech, we have lots of them. So you can, it depends on the need of the organization at that particular moment that you're applying for a role. I don't know if that answered your question. Please, are we to be satisfied at the end of the course? I think that has been answered. Yeah, from my, okay, that has been answered. Please, can you signify tell us how to work on a project or task be given by an employer or a product manager, and how I can go about solving that problem, plus using of to step by step. Yeah, this topic is a bit broad, right? But when we commence our class, you have deeper understanding. But let me see if I can just give you, like, you know, to have an idea of what the response is going to look like. Please, can you kindly tell us how to work on a project or a task that is given to us by an employer as a product manager, and how I can go about solving the problem? Like I said earlier on, that as a product manager, right, if you are given a task, you need to identify the problem you want to solve, because you cannot solve a problem that you don't know of. You need to identify the problem first. So when you identify the problem, right, then you use, like, okay, what are the likely solutions for this problem? So when you know the problem, then you'll be able to, like, okay, what is the root cause of this problem? If there is need for you to carry out a research, most times you need to, like, carry out a research. So you could carry out a user research, market research. It depends on the problem that you're trying to figure out, right? So when you're able to identify the problem, right, then for the next question is, how can I go about solving the problem? When you identify problem, definitely you'll be able to, like, know the solution. And the only way you can know the problem you are trying to solve is to gather enough data by carrying out a research. So after you carry that, it's a whole lot, really. But when we start our normal class, you have a deeper understanding on how you solve a problem, and how you're going to provide solution, and how you are going to, like, prioritize the way you are going to treat the problem that you're about to solve. Do you understand? So that's it about it. I don't know if that answered your question. If it doesn't, then you can still proceed to ask further question about it. Please, how can a PM be relevant in, I think I've explained that. How do we access past study materials, submit, checks, course correction? This will be explained when we commence class. One of the course outlined as market research. How are we to get through a research work when most of the ones available have to be paid for in dollars? One of the course outlined as a market research. How are we to get thorough research work when most of the ones available have to be paid for in dollars? For instance, if you are working on a market research, there are some market research that you really do not need to pay in dollars. And why are you even conducting a market research? Number one is for you to identify the market size, the pricing models, there are a lot of features that are under you searching for market and market research, for you to know your competitors, to know your market trend, to know your market size, the pricing models and the likes. So it is not all that you need to pay for in dollar. There are some that, for instance, maybe you are working on an app that has been existing, right? All you have to do is just look for your competitors online, check their page, look at, okay, what is their pricing model like, what are their audience, check how they are interacting with your products, what are these guys doing that is different to your own particular product that you are working on, right? So you do not really need to pay money for you to conduct a market research. There are still products, because we are working on a live products. Of course, you have competitors, so you really do not really need to pay before you're able to carry out the research. Do you understand? So there are still some online that you don't even have to basically. I don't know if that answered your question. So can I be a product manager as a diplomat? Of course, you can. Mr. Adeleke, how can I put product manager in nursing? My aim to be able to offer informative services to clients from around the world and also be a consultant. How can you impute product management into nursing? Like I said earlier when I started introducing myself, I said I work as a banker for years, and at some point my prayer point changed that I want something else for my life. Regardless of your discipline, right? You can work as a product manager. You can, in fact, not even only product manager, any tech career path that you have chosen, you don't have any limitations. The only limitation you have is your mindset. Do you understand? So you can work anywhere, and it's not like we going to university now that you have to spend like 4 years. It's just about you prioritizing what you really want, and you're consistent and committed, right? And you just see how things will work. So many of us on this call, we didn't do product management in school. I read banking, and my colleagues also. I'm sure some of them also, they didn't really read product management. So being a nurse is not really a constraint or a limitation for you to become a product manager. You can become whatever you want to become in the tech space, in as much that you are determined. I don't know if that answered your question. Um, what else? What else? I think that's or someone said, is the PM and the PO the same? So what's the full meaning of PO? Can you? I'm sure PM is product manager. Then PO is what? What's the PO, please? You can write it in full below the comment section so I can explain. I think, is there a difference between project manager and product? This has been explained. Product manager managed a product from ideation even till post launch. For instance, if you he has already explained, but let me just add more to what he has explained. A product manager manage from the ideation stage to the launching of a product, from what are we producing, and even when the product is launched, you will not stop, because especially if you are using an agile framework, right? You still have to iterate and go back to your drawing board. You need to gather feedback from your users to see if the products that you really worked on is what they wanted, if you are really meeting the needs of your users. But for projects, there's a time bound, there's a timeline, that once they are done with their project, they are done. But you see, product manager, there's no finishing. I mean, I don't know if there's anything like that. There's no end point, except maybe when you want to resign or something like that. But for product manager, even when the product has been launched, your work still began, because you still need to get feedback from your users to know if what you have launched is what they requested for, or you're just, do you get? So I don't know if that answers your question. How do we get product design customer care? You can like, I think he said you should send email to incubator if you're in the wrong class. Can a laptop work for this program? Yes. Is product design and product management the same? No, it's not the same. What days in the week is our class? Wednesdays by 7 to 9 o'clock, Fridays 7 to 9, and Saturday 7 to 9. Can product manager be introduced into rental business? Yes, I think I've explained that. I'm changing to okay. What is the importance of PM in food industry as a food scientist? It's all about you digitalizing your traditional way of you sending your product to your users, right? Digitalizing it. I think I mentioned that. So it makes it very easy. Okay, we all know Glovo, right? Is it not? Do they not? Are they not into food and the likes? Right? It's just about you. The whole process, just have it that it's like you digitalizing your traditional way of sending your product or whatever you are doing to your end users. So product manager, you are not limited to any industry, but it depends on the need at that particular time of that industry. Food industry, clothing, fintech, agri, whatever. Do you get? You can they are relevant to all industries, but it depends on their needs at that particular point in time. There's always a back end for every product you're seeing. Um Please, is product design and the product management the same thing? No. Can I stay in both classes? No. How do you verify the problem? We'll explain that when we get to class. You have to carry out a research. Like, there are better ways you can carry out a research, interview, questionnaire, one-on-one. Another way is by reading comments online. You can do research online. You can have one-on-one conversation with your users. You can also use question. There are lots, but when we commence our class proper, then you get better understanding as to how this whole thing works. So please, can we change our course? I think you have to send a mail. I understand how perfectly a PM can work anyway. All you need to okay, that is there a guidebook given to us to learn further? You'll get full information when class commences. What are the core tech courses that a PM must have? Core tech courses. What do you mean by core tech courses must have? Can you explain further? Can we change our courses to project management? I think you have to send a mail to that as well. How do I incorporate products manager in digital marketing? I think that was also we are going to like dive further into this question. Product management in digital marketing. Like I said, as a product manager, you are not working alone. I don't even have mentioned that being a product manager, you are going to collaborate with your team. You're not working alone. You work with digital marketers, you work with engineers, you work with product designers. Currently, where I'm working, I happens to be a product manager and a project manager. I work as for both as project and product. And I have couples of people I'm working with, digital marketer, back and front, everybody. So you should be able to like manage these guys, right? These are part of the things that we're going to teach you when we start our normal class. It's a whole lot. Just be prepared. But you can do it. You can do it. I don't know. How can I get to product design class? I've explained the difference between project manager and product manager. Product manager, project manager, not project officer, project manager. The attendance is the same for all classes. Although the research was about the market size of health and wellness in food in Nigeria, but majority of research work has to be paid for. But there are still some that you can get that you don't have to pay for. There are some that you can still there are still some that you don't have to pay for. Or better still, if your company can really afford, if it is compulsory that you make use of that particular paid version, I think your company should be responsible for the payments. That's what I feel. If they, because I'm sure there are lots of if you do more research, you should be able to get free. But if they insist that you should use that particular research work, then they should pay for it. I register for product design, but the link I go, please send a mail. PM job is a continuous one. I've explained that. And how do we switch courses from product design? Please send a mail. Is it stressful role compared to banking? Hmm. Is it stressful role compared to banking? Do you want an honest response to that question? I didn't regret it that I'm into tech, honestly. And like I say, um, I always had passion to work as a banker, but my prayer point changed, right? Tech is life, honestly. You know what it means for you to be in your house and you're working. You can even do more than one or two jobs at the same time. But it depends on your own capacity. I'm not saying you can, but it depends on your capacity. Banking job, I'm not saying you are limited as a banker. But when I left the banking sector, I came to understand so many things about life that, you know, you're just there doing the same thing all over and all over and all over again. Or when I, transition into tech, I realized that there is much to life than just for you to just be saying, next customer, please, and the likes. But it's actually stressful. There's no job that does not come with stress. And even this tech that we are talking about too, is not as juicy as you think it is as well. Because you also have you have to make sacrifice. Like it's a whole lot, really. So if they ask people now, they will tell you that, "Ah, I want to start making a rubber salary. That's why I want to join tech." See, it's not as easy as you think it is. Some people say after this, I want to start. No, it's a whole lot, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, it's worth it. You can work anywhere. You can work anywhere. You can even work outside the country without having to be in that country. So that's how the kind of opportunity you have in the tech space. You meet, you network with people, and even mentally you have reasons to study because tech is not this something that today, tomorrow you just realize that, like, you look at AI, see what AI has done. So you have to be vast in knowledge. That's what tech will, like, it will expand your mental capacity because it's wide and it's quite competitive. I don't know if that answered your question. Can we use any type of laptop for this program? In as much that you can get value, you can understand what they are teaching you. Can a product manager take up projects? I work as a project and a product manager where I'm working at the moment. Is it possible to switch course to product manager? Please send a mail. What days are class? I think I've answered that. I said Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturday from 7 to 9. Adeleke, are you back? So I think I've taken some questions in case you want to. Can a product manager takes up a project manager role? Of course you can. It depends on your capacity.
Oh,
Yeah. Project manager, of course. Of course you can. It depends on your capacity. Yeah. Project manager. Please, I need a clarification. Is this a product manager class? If you have any issues, please send a mail so that it will be addressed before class commences, because today is just an introduction class. Do you get? So whatever issue you have regarding your class, if it makes, kindly send a mail so that will be addressed ASAP, so that you not miss out. I think we've answered all this question. What learning management platform are we to download? All of this will be communicated in the classroom. Other tech courses that are useful in product. Okay, tech courses. I mean, what other tech courses are useful in PMs? Other tech courses such as, I don't really know how to answer your question. Tech courses that are useful in product management. Tech courses. Are you talking about soft skills or courses? Because if you look at the course outline, I'm sure that if you are really, really serious with what you are doing, right? But you with this course outline, you should be able to get a role. Like I said, I'm a product of something like this. I did bootcamp and I did fellowship, and here I am. I got out, at least I got my role without having to, like, you know. So if I can, and so many of us on the call too. I don't think that you should be, just be focused. Just be focused. And by the time we start our class proper, you need to have an accountability partner and know who is going to help your career. Because at the end of the day, you realize that by the time you start this whole thing, you might have some couple of friends. Know who is going to help you and set a timeline, a smart goal for yourself. So for tech courses, the course outline that I showed everybody, I think is enough for you to just get your first role if you know what you are doing. So I don't think there's any other tech courses that you still have, except if you want to take if it's soft skills courses, maybe stakeholder management and the likes, communication skills. You want to do, maybe you want to do your CSPO and the likes. So those are certifications that you might really have to do, maybe Scrum and all of those courses. You can do it. Do you get? But for now, they are just starting. Just take these fundamental courses that we are giving you. But if you are really, really serious, I can assure you, if I can, anybody can, obviously. Because I don't even have any experience in tech. I don't know anything about tech. I told you I read banking. Even I did ICANN exam at some point. I just left, I did a lot. Do you get? I don't have any technical background, but if I can, I don't think there should be any limitation for anybody. Is it stressful role? I've answered that. It's possible to do product design with fashion design. Is it possible? Is there any learning materials? Yes, there's possibilities. I will send you some links when we start. YouTube links, and then links that you can also read. So don't be limited to what we are teaching you alone here. Also, you to make research, make personal research as well. Don't stop in the classroom, because we can't teach you everything. But at the same time, so be proactive, make more research. That's what I can just say. Is it possible to do product management with fashion design? You can. I have a friend that is a medical doctor, and is actually doing product management. If a doctor can do product manager and product management course, sorry, what happens to a fashion designer? We have nurses, we have so many, even a lawyer. I have a lawyer friend. So there's no limitations. There's no limitation. There's no limitation. Or do I have to drop one for the other? It depends on your capacity. I can't decide. You should, as an individual, what are you capable of doing? I told you when I started, I did data. I did I did data. I did in fact product design I started at some point, but I dropped it. Coding. When you're into tech, there's possibility of you touching everything just because you want to know your strength. So it depends on your capacity. Yes. What are the challenges product manager face? A lot of challenges, but it's something that you can overcome. Okay, I think this is going to be the last question. My colleague is, I think, is back, so I'm going to take that as the last question. What are the challenges product manager face? A lot, because the most difficult, something that is to manage people is the most difficult thing to do. Managing people. So when I started working there, I realized that to manage people is not easy, especially when they don't have the same experience. If we are hiring people, for instance, some people can have, like my colleague mentioned, some people might have like 6 years of experience, another person might have 1 year experience, another person might have half years of experience. Now, their priority and their perspective is not going to be the same. So you have to figure out a way on how you're going to balance the two of them. For instance, you want to work on your features, and your designers, your stakeholders, let me not say designers alone. Maybe you want to work on an app and you have like 10 features, and you are supposed to, like, focus on the important features. And your stakeholders are telling you that no, you should work on all of these features. That's like a challenge. So now, as a product manager, you need to like figure out how can you convince these guys that you cannot work on all of these features. Do you get? Because these are one of the challenges I face where I'm working. We want to do this, and you're saying we should work on all of the features. We cannot work on all the features. And how do I um overcome these challenges? I have to carry out a research. I have to back it up with data. This. That's how I was able to, like, do you get? So That's another challenge that you have. Another challenge you can have is that, product manager, you might not be technically sound because you work with dev team. I came to realize that developers, if you don't know what these guys are doing, they will just tell you to, let me use the word, some people don't understand Yoruba, they just tell you to mumu. Mumu means somebody, I don't know the English of mumu, right? But they just tell you to, like, you don't know what you are doing. So another challenges you can have as a product manager is if you are not technically sound. If you are not technically sound. So because by the time they start calling all those jargons, branch, all these things that you like, what are you saying? And also, as a product manager, that you be the one to like manage your stakeholders, how do you assign task if you don't know what they are doing? How do you assign tasks to a designer if you don't know what designers are doing? How do you assign tasks to a developer if you don't know what they are doing? Those are questions you should ask yourself. So it is a lot, but don't worry, it's something you can do. I think I said a lot. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you
Yeah,
very.
I think I said a lot, so you can have the mic.
Please
You
confirm
can
you
take
can
it
hear
from there. You
me
say
very much. Thank you. I believe we have taken um, a majority of the questions. So we need to ensure the class runs off now. But before we do, um, I want to, because what we do from here into our next class. So we mentioned something earlier. For the classes to be very productive, we need us to ensure that each of the classes are tailored towards the product you are working on, which means that if we're taking you market research today, you are not just going to fill up your notes or get the slides. Immediately we are taking you that class, you are going to go ahead and do your market research on the product you're working on. So, in a nutshell, I will explain a few things. Hold on. So, okay, please confirm you're with me. Okay, so I will explain something. When you are looking at market fit for your product, you are considering how your product solves the market. I was still in a conversation this morning, and the where we got to is you cannot take the product to the market if it does not come from the market. I will repeat: if your product is not coming from the market, it cannot go to the market. Um, I still want Damila to come in and speak on how to convert your problem to a tech product. But before he does that, I would speak on how to see a problem that you need to fit. That is where you all have all the questions you're asking. Can product management work? Now, somebody said something. Product management includes UI, UX, marketing, business management, data analytics. You're very perfect. That's just what it is. In fact, it's a lot of data analytics. And I will explain. You have launched the product, okay? The product's in the market. There's something they call product metrics, and we'll take you all of that. But then you want to check how are people downloading your products. Why are they downloading? Why are they not downloading? You need numbers. I need to analyze these numbers. Okay, somebody something the person had digitals at the back of his name. He asked the question that how can he I don't know if the person can come back with that question. Is in relation to marketing. I'm waiting in the comment section. I'm waiting for that question. This class ends by 9. So please, if you are still on the class, please put it again. The person was talking about markets. Um, person was talking about markets and see how can I use marketing in the product. If I do not phrase you well, please you can come again so that we can address that question.
But from what I got, the person was trying to say, okay, I'm a digital marketer. How can I take the product? How can I use product management? Now, let me shock you. There's a certification called Association of International Product Managers and Marketers. So if you see, you can go on LinkedIn right now and type product marketing manager as a job. You will see all of the roles. Most companies will not hire a product manager that cannot market the product. So that's why you're not a project manager. You cannot deliver the project and run away. No, you have to market the product. That means you have to see to the success. Your product is not successful because you have launched. Now then your work starts. Your product is successful because you have launched and people are using it. So when you see WhatsApp doing updates, adding video call, adding audio call, adding WhatsApp status, removing WhatsApp, it's because somebody is doing research and looking for features that people are looking for and adding it to the product. Do you understand? So it's not that we launched WhatsApp today, we have ended. No, you launched WhatsApp today, your work has just started. Why should people download WhatsApp? Why should they use WhatsApp? Why should they delete WhatsApp? Somebody said something online today on Twitter. He said, if no before, I repeat, I remember I screenshotted the tweet. He said, if no before business, groups, and family members, I would have deleted WhatsApp. And I replied, I said, okay, you have mentioned 3 reasons why you cannot delete a product. That's a good product. You can't delete it because of your business. You can't delete it because of your groups. You can't delete it because of your family members. The product manager should go with a race. Exactly. Tokumbo Ademola, Tobiloba Damilola, you are right. They should work with project managers because most times you spend a lot. If you have get a good job where they are paying well, you will spend a lot of your time doing research and looking for why the products should work better. So you will not even have some time to chase developers, and I can promise you that. But of course, Nigerians will use you, and they will pay you to do all of that together. So we are sorry ahead of time. But I said you have 2 reasons, so you can't delete this product. So those 3 reasons are enough. If you can't delete it for these reasons, then it's a successful product. So before I even allow Bamila to come in, you are going to do an assignment before this course starts. And it's simple. You are going to have a product in your mind. And that is the product that you'll be using as a case study throughout this course, throughout this 14 weeks. And so I don't just want us to go tomorrow and come with different names. Somebody will say, my own product is Byte. What is Byte? Byte is a product that seeks to help students to know the names of their teachers. Okay, me, what's your name of my product is Milk. What is Milk? Milk is a product I want to use so that people can see time better. Don't come with any product that does not work. And that's what I will spend the next 5-10 minutes to tell you about how to arrive at a good product. We'll still get a product strategy, but we have to paraphrase this because we need you to do this assignment. So before you think of a product, I don't know if many of us here did research in school. There's something they call problem statement and research gap. So research gap is that space that nobody has filled. Problem statement is not just you saying there is payment issues in Africa. I cannot transfer money. Because of that, I want to build an app to transfer money. That's not a problem. You have not reached your gap. So I cannot transfer money. There is something going on. So what's the next thing you have to do? So I cannot transfer money and I want to build a solution to it. But then you are not looking for all of the payment apps. What have they done? I have PiggyVest, I have banking apps, I have all of these payment apps out there. What have they done? What have they not done? It is what they have not done you will now do. You may not even do user research like that, just market research, just looking for information within the market. Okay, farmers cannot take their products, whatever, all of this. Farmers are having this issue. Your problem, you are not the first to see it. Others have seen it. So your job is now to look at what others have seen that is not enough, that you are seeing differently. It is that problem you are seeing, is that solution you are seeing to that problem that others have not seen. You will now build an app to. That is what you now turn to a product. What most people's problem is that they build a product that has no market fit, really. They didn't come from the market. They just said that everybody's building fintech. Oh yeah, me too. I want to build my own. Leke Pay. What is Leke Pay? You just wrote something. People could not really transfer money. People are having issues transferring money to their Nigerian friends in Nigeria. So I want to build Leke Pay so that people can pay. Meanwhile, all the banks have applications that do send payments. So you don't have any application. Sorry. You're going to get to the market. The only thing you're going to be doing is stressing yourself in marketing. You're going to be sponsoring posts. People are going to be liking it, but they won't download. They're going to be doing creatives and videos. They won't download. If they download, they will uninstall it tomorrow. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you have to look for a problem. All of you, that's your assignment now. Go and look for a problem. Damila is going to come up to tell you how to convert that problem to a tech product, but mine is to tell you how to look for that problem. Look for a problem in the market space. Look for a problem in your industry. Are you in teaching? Are you in medicine? What do you feel? Are there too many queues in your hospital? Could the problem be streamlined with an application? And that is not in the market. So go to your Play Store, go to your App Store, Google, make sure you check a few, two, three apps tonight so that you can see if there's nothing in the market against what you're coming with. Okay? When you now think of that problem, you may not have a name yet. Your assignments are going to be in 3 slides. The first slide, they're going to talk about the problem you are seeing in the market. The second slide, they're going to talk about the tech solution you have for it. And the third slide, they're going to be talking about the impact of that tech solution. That is where profit comes in. Because if your product will not bring money, your CEO does not care about what you're saying. When Twitter came in, the guys started monetizing and all of that. So if you don't now, let me help you. Because somebody said they have a chemist store. You don't if there's no problem in where you are, you don't have to force solution on it. So if it ain't bad, don't fix it. Yes, it has to be an application. It may also be a website. It has to be a product tech can solve. This is a technical product management class, not just a product. We are not just teaching product management generally. Some 2016, 2017, I worked as a product manager, but not tech product manager. We were doing agri products, we're doing fertilizers for farmers and co. So that's entirely different, okay? But this is a tech product management class. So we'll be talking Scrum, we're talking all of these things. So that will not happen if it's not a tech class. So it has to be a tech product. Okay? So look for a problem and find a solution to it. So Bamila, you can take it from here and let them know how they can bring tech into it. Thank you.
Sorry, while we wait for Bamila to join the call, there's someone who asked a question that
Okay?
what other courses can they take or something like that. Like I said, that if you have the capacity to take, you can decide to take product design courses and backend and dev courses. But I feel that it depends on your capacity. Do you understand? So you're asking about courses that you can take. You can take product design, you can take dev, a developer courses and all of that. But if you have the capacity to do all of those courses together, good luck. But if you don't have, just focus on your product manager first, management course. Get the foundational understanding. Then later you can now dive into having an understanding of what product designer. You don't need to know everything, just the basic. Thank you. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Bamila, you have the mic, you can speak.
So then
All
Bamila,
right.
you have to speed
Yeah.
again. So they are to think of a problem that tech can solve. So
Yeah.
please just narrate how they can bring tech to solve that problem so that they can come up with a product they'll be working with throughout this class. So
Well, that makes sense.
the problem has to be a technical problem, not just any kind of problem. A problem
All
that
right.
tech can solve. That's the training.
All right.
And of course, that's the first slide. Second slide will now be the tech product itself, and that's where you come in, how they can craft that tech product out of that problem. And the third slide will be the
All
impact.
right.
What will be the impact to the problem? Now, somebody said the problem of the product. That is right, but we are saying the problem the product will solve. The problem the product will solve. Product design is here, but as just a class, not a full course. Product design course is another. Please reach out to your organizers. Thank you very much. Bamila, take it away.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, ability. So let me just come in this way, right? There are a few stages in product management, right? Like I said, think of a product, right? That's the ideation. You have to brainstorm. right? Brainstorm, think of a product that you want to do. So after you have thought of this product, the first thing you do as a product manager, you want to validate this idea. You want to be sure that this idea is actually attending to someone's pain point, is solving a problem, right? How do you validate this idea? You can do with, like my colleague has said, um, what's her name now? Forgive me, Bisola. Like Bisola said, you do your research, you do your survey, right? You people you think that this problem is solving their problem. You want to find out for them what they think about your product. Now you go in depth, you do some level of market research, analysis, all of that. You find the weakness, your target audience, analyze your competitors. I want to take it rush, right? So take note. You have thought of your idea. You want to validate this idea. Now you want to research. You want to find out what are the competitors of this same product solution I'm trying to provide. Now take note. You either have a direct competitor, right, or an indirect competitor. A quick example. Maybe your idea is around selling, right? Selling food. Now, you think of child death. I'm just using that as an example. Now, a direct competition with child death is Jumia Food. An indirect competitor with Jumia Food is Jumia itself, Hunger itself, because we do buy and sell it. So you think of all of those stuff, right? After you have thought of all of those stuff, remember before you go further, you want to validate this idea. You must make sure that whatever product you are bringing out is market fit, right? You validate this idea, then you do more of your market research, analyzing your competitor, knowing, I mean, your target audience and all of these things, right? All of these things will go into documentation, right? As a product manager. So after that, right, you want to define your product vision. You want to know what do I want to achieve with this product. That's where you come about the product strategy, the roadmap. After you have understood the vision of that product you're trying to build, you've understood the problem you're solving. You want to see what you want to achieve over time in that product. Now, when you are thinking about your product strategy, your product roadmap, somewhere along that line, you start to also, document the requirement for that product. So there is a document called the PRE that contains most of this information, right? You start to think about your your you know the features that would likely be in that product. Now, let me quickly answer a question around research and all of that. Sometimes, a lot of times, at least for the past 5 years that I have been working, I don't think I've actually had to pay anybody to do my research. What I do is simple. If I want to build, if I have an idea, a fintech idea, I usually tell people in the product space, there's really no virgin idea, although we are hoping that people will get more innovative. But then there's something that is directly solving, indirectly, maybe indirectly related to what you're trying to, solution you're trying to build, or you're rather building on something that someone has ever built. So you can look for app, take note, you are looking into a product manager building a tech product, right? Look for app that does something related to what you want to build. Look for, you can download as much. Me for one, I can download as much as 10 applications just trying to see how they do end to end on their platform. That way, I'm getting ideas on how I can build this my own product, how I can become better with this my own product. After you have done that, right, you've documented all of these things that you want to do, right? You start to break this thing down into bit. I don't want to go into all of that detail. So after you have done your product strategy, you have defined your strategy, you know your roadmap, you know what you want to achieve at what time. You are able to map out what you are achieving per time. Now, the next phase for you as a product manager is the product development itself. And this phase, right, at this point, you need to work with a team, right? You need to work with, oftentimes, you work with a UI UX designer, you work with that's the product designer, right? You work with a front end engineer, a back end engineer, a quality assurance engineer. Oftentimes, sometimes there are people called Scrum, right? Scrum masters are people that does what a manager does most of the time, right? So you work with these teams, and your job as a product manager is you're working together with these people so that that idea, remember, that you have thought of, that you have validated, must actually come to life. You understand? So you set up your team, you work with the designer who help you visualize that thought. Remember, so one of the skills you need in the process of your, thinking of your research and all of that, there is a place where you yourself, and this is why it's good for you to have an idea, right? There's a place for you to do all these flow charts. You're thinking through the process. You're trying to sketch the flow of whatever you're trying to do, right? For me for one, I use tools like Mirror, Jam, to just sketch. Jam is just a subset of Figma, right? To just sketch out my thought process, right? So that when your team is coming, you can, I mean, communicate this vision to them. It's very important that you communicate whatever vision you have, whatever idea. You make them see it the way you are seeing it. So I can also already have a sketch. When my product designer comes on board, he's able to see my thought process and he's able to come up with something that matches with my thought process, right? The product designer designs, back-end engineer builds the endpoint, go into all of those stories, builds API, and the front-end engineer, does the front end as it speaks, right? Designs the screen, implements the screens, consumes the API that was built by the backend engineer. Now, don't think too much about all of these things, right? It is no crime not to have an not to be clear. It is no crime not to know so much. Over time, you when you start to work, when you start to work with your team, you start to understand some of these things, right? Like someone was asking, right? I think when you start to work, you start to understand some of these jargon that they are saying. You don't necessarily. I have never written a line of code. I have never written a line of code. When I started product management, I did not even know what. I don't even know what an API is, right? But over time now, I can merge PRs. I can do a lot of technical stuff. I can set up a pipeline, right? That is what I've learned over time. So don't disturb yourself if at the beginning you don't know so much. As you grow, you start to learn. So you work with that team. Don't let me spend too much time. You work with that team. Now your work does not stop in the product development, right? When you are done with the product, the engineers have built, your QA has tested, it's time to go, right? You want to go to the market. Now, as a product manager, it's a plus for you to understand how to market. You don't necessarily need to market. In a big organization, right? You have teams set apart for marketing and all of these things. But it's good for you to have an idea of product marketing, to know how to market the product you're building. Because think of this way, right? A product manager first thinks of the customer, right? You are the one who understand the pain point of your customer. That's why when you're doing your documentation, you are even thinking as that customer. So you understand what the market needs and you're able to even sell what the market needs to them, right? You go to the market, uh, although before you start to launch, there are some post-launch things you want to do. You want to do some level of testing. After your engineer has built, the QA has tested. You want to be sure that these products are built would actually satisfy this customer. So you want to do some level of testing, interact with your product before you actually bring it to life. In the class, we'll go into all of this detail, right? I'm just trying to rush through all of these things. Then you go to the market. Now, your work does not stop when you launch your app as a product manager, like my colleague was saying. Now, after you have launched, it is still your job. The success of the product is on you as a product manager. The failure of the product is on you as a product manager, right? So, and how do you know if your product is successful? You only find out if your product is actually successful if the end users, customers are satisfied with what you are giving them. Right. So you want to put your eyes on certain metrics, right? After your product at launch, you want to find out the retention rate. What I mean by retention rate, you want to find out how many people, keep coming back to your platform. You want to find out the acquisition rate, how many people have onboarded on your platform. You want to know all those information. You want to also get feedback. Maybe you want to know, okay, customers are interacting with this feature more than this. You want to know, okay, let me go back to the drawing board. Let's also do this instead of this. So for recap, right? After you have thought of your product, validate that idea that you have. When you are coming to the class, you already know if your, although we will help you too. No, if this your idea is actually valid, right? When you validate it, you do your market research and all of that. After you've done all of that, then go into your product strategy. You start to document. You write a PRD. Start to break down that idea into features, right? That feature you break them down into user stories. User stories are just don't worry. Be patient. When you get to the class, we give you the definition into all of these things. And you can also do a bit of your own research. You break it down into user stories. Now, those user stories are what your designer, your engineers will use to build what you want. So break down into user stories, and then your development team work with your documentation. They want to understand the vision you have. They want to understand the problem you're trying to solve. You want to see from your own point of view. Then you build with them. You understand? You build with them to make sure you make sure they deliver on their job. You make sure that they build what you want them to build, right? Down to launch, down to after the launch when you want to see how well the product is doing. Now there are some things in the middle of all of this, right? There are things like stakeholder management and all of that. Now, someone was asking, what test do you want to learn? Do you know the truth? Don't disturb yourself about learning, taking test courses. This is good to have, right? But rather think about skills, right? Think about skills. Think about the skills that will help you become a better product manager. One is communication. You want to be a good communicator. Now, what do I mean? You want to be able to communicate that idea, right, to whoever is building, to your team, so that they can see it from the same way you are seeing it. You must be a good communicator. In fact, in the way you write your stories, the way you must be able to communicate that idea clearly. Communication communication also goes beyond your documentation. It also talks to how you interact with your team, right? You must learn how to communicate with your team because they have to deliver the desired result. Now, another thing you must learn is very important is stakeholder management. If you don't know stakeholder management as a product manager, you would get frustrated. Now, don't let me bore you with all of those stories. So we'll go into all of these details when we get into the class. And I can assure you that for one, you will make a good product manager after this course or program. So I would hand over to Leke now. Thank you so much for having me. I'm over to you, Leke. All right. It's Leke here. So product management is not hard, right? It's interesting. Just see yourself being in the forefront of innovation. It's not hard. It's very interesting. As you go through it, you begin to enjoy it, and it becomes simple when you enjoy it. All right. So thank you very much. Over to you, Licky. Is Licky here?
Maybe he has technical issues, but
All right. All
yeah,
right.
I'm here.
have technical issues.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you very much. I think I've tried to, you know, walk them through the different stages. So if you have any other thing to say, please.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Bamila. Thank you so much for that. So before we should close any moment from now, thank you guys for joining tonight. So next class we are going to be reviewing each of the ideas you bring in. We're going to be scrutinizing through and managing them. And from the third class, we go into the lessons proper. So let's repeat. Why you're having this idea is simple. For every class, if we're taking market research, you have to do market research on your product. If you're taking product roadmap, you have to do a roadmap for your product. If you're taking Scrum, you do a Scrum for your product. If you're taking PR requirement document, you do a requirement document for your product. So please do not take this lightly. Again, I will reiterate the assignment. Number one, think of a problem. That should be in your first slide. Your second slide, think of the tech solutions you have for the problem. Some people are asking for they can what if it's not non-tech? So some people are asking for what if it's non-tech? Now, this is a technical product management class. We need to solve technical problems. Okay, we can't solve all the problems in the world. For the non-tech product management, this is not the class for it. Okay, then finally, your third slide, the impact of that product. What will it do? What will you achieve with it? What this will do for you is that it helps you have the thinking process, the strategy process. One of the things that is lacking in tech is thinking. People can design app, people can code, but we have less people and few people thinking. And so that's where you're coming. So thank you very much for joining the class. Please, uh, your answer will be in presentations, if a few slides, 1, 2, 3. If you do not, for those without laptop, try to get someone to work on it, or at least present it properly in writing, and then you can we can have that in the next class. We also discuss with incubator to see how the next class we can have you send this thing maybe prior to the class. You can send them in prior to the class, and then we can look through ourselves and talk with you all through. So again, thank you very much for joining tonight. I would just that's just my final word for you. So please let's take our assignments seriously because they determine how relevant we are in the market. Thank you.